Sorry from our side. There seems to be a technical glitch, but we are back online. So, Sriram sir, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, so sorry about this technical glitch. So we are back here, and this webinar is about to make you aware about the latex technique, how you are going to prepare your document, and how before submission. Because most of the publishers, they often ask to submit your codes of latex code in order to speed up the publication aspect of your article. So latex is one of the very good software which gives you ergonomic look to your document, and it's give you a look which actually you are saying in the article or books or any chapters. So before I introduce, this is what the webinar is about, and we have today very eminent people from two places in fact. Our own Dr. Vinay Kumar from Associate Professor, Thapa Institute of Information Technology, and Dr. Sunil Bhushan, Professor at Mahindra Ecole Centrale, Hyderabad. So I know Professor Bhushan in 2003-4 when he asked me to. I came across this terminology in 2003-4 when he asked me to buy a book on latex. So since then, I understand that he is one of the most eminent person to speak on the topic, as well as Dr. Vinay Kumar is another colleague of us. He is working a wonderful job in using the latex technology for document preparation system. So Dr. Vinay Kumar is associate professor at TIET, and his research team and focuses on image processing, deep learning, computer vision, and natural language processing. The research focuses on development of computationally efficient deep learning models, sentiment analysis through NLP, and also the super resolution and image fusion techniques in their research areas and research focus. He has published many research papers, and I think he is one of the key person who can tell us more better about latex technology. And we are also privileged to have Professor Sunil Bhushan. He is a professor in electrical engineering department at Mahindra Ecole Centrale. And Dr. Sunil Bhushan has done his PhD from University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, USA, and he has published a lot of articles as well as books and many research projects he is handled. And I think let us welcome these two dignitaries on the dais, and let us hear about their opinion and their views on the district. So, Dr. Vinay, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, so welcome, sir. Please
Thank
go
you.
ahead with your presentation.
All right. So I would like to share my screen.
Yeah, I just stop my screen, then you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stop sharing screen. Well, good morning, everyone. We are going to discuss about latex and its applications for writing documents. Latex is a typesetting program. My name is Vinay Kumar, and we are going to be joined. Dr. Sunil Bhushan is also going to join us in a while. So, first question is, what is latex? So latex is not what you see. What you do is what you see type of software. For example, Microsoft Word, whatever you type, it appears on your screen and you can make edits, etc. Whereas since latex is a program, so you write down few things and then you execute it. And finally, after execution, it is going to show you the outcome. Generally, the latex outcome is in terms of PDF files. Second important is that for whom is it? It is not for those who are in a hurry, and at least during the learning process. Initially, it takes a while to learn how to work with latex. But once you are done with it, then it could be very useful. So we are going to look, answer to this question, for whom latex is or who should be interested in learning latex. Latex is for you if you would like to create professional looking documents and for free. And if you want to write, for example, a research paper, a book chapter, maybe a complete book, a tutorial on a particular topic, maybe a transcript for drama, for speaking on stage, or maybe for your presentations, etc. And obviously a thesis as well. Generally, latex is extremely useful when you write down a book and a thesis because the integration process is very intuitive and very easy. Third question which arises is it easy to learn? And the first answer which comes to my mind is no. But we must be clear that although it's not easy, but it is much easy to do. So if you take it as an activity over the period of time, you will be able to not only learn it, you will get indulged into it, and you will feel the power of latex, which is going to help you quite a lot in creating the documents as and when they are required. So let's start the journey to latex. We said that latex is a typesetting program. We all know a program is something where we pass some instructions and our compiler is going to compile it, then we execute it, and finally we get the answers. So in case of latex, the input is text. And once we input the text, the latex program is going to generate a file which is going to be formatted into lines, paragraphs, sections, chapters, and many, many more pages. We can include diagrams, we can also include videos, we can include animations, and so on and so forth. Though it is a programming language, but it is extremely simple. All we need to do is we have to learn few simple things. And once we are over with that learning process, we will be able to create any document, be it thesis, be it a journal paper, or maybe slides. Now, generally, whenever we talk of a program, we need to install something, and same happens with latex as well. Generally, there are three types of operating systems. One is Linux, then we have Apple or Macintosh, and we have Windows. Since latex is an open source programming language and programming module, so it is applicable, it's freely available for all these three types of installation softwares. Now, generally, all popular Linux editions, for example, Ubuntu, Kubuntu, etc., they all come with pre-installed LaTeX systems. But generally what happens that these pre-installed LaTeX editions are not up to date. So for Linux, Mac OS, or Windows, we have to do a little bit of some few things so that your, for example, in case of Linux, your system is up to date. Generally, when we use Linux, we always have something which is called as package manager. So in your package manager, for example, if you are using Ubuntu, which is very popular Linux edition, if you go to package manager and search for TextLive, it is going to show you many options. And if you click on install TextLive, it is going to take care of all the dependencies. So dependency is something which indicates that, for example, if you only install TextLive, it is not going to work alone because it is dependent on some other programs. Although it is possible for us on Linux system to install it manually, but package managers are the best since they take care of dependencies all by themselves. And we just have to click install button. So if you are using Linux, then you go to your package manager and search for TextLive and check it and press install. So it will install all the dependencies as well as your TextLive package. If we look at Mac OS or Macintosh, on Macintosh, there is a free distribution for Mac OS, which is called as MacTeX. And it is around 3 to 4 GBs download. You can download it and install it. On MacTeX, you get everything. It contains the a compiler. It also contains the editor and so on and so forth. So you can install MacTag if you have a Macintosh computer. Whereas if you have a Windows computer, then you have to go to BigTech or ProTech or TechSlide. Generally, MikTech is the one which is preferred by most of the users. It's easy and it's a complete package. So you can install, you can go to MikTech, you can search MikTech on Google, go to its site and download the exe file and install it. Once you install that, on Windows also, your system is going to work. These three, so once you install them, they are irrespective of which type of operating system you use, they look more or less the same. Why? We will see in the next slide. Then there is another way of doing LaTeX. It is through cloud, right? We also call it online. There are many online services which provide you LaTeX service. Paperia, Overleaf, ShareLaTeX. So ShareLaTeX and Overleaf are now joined hands, and it's a single entity, and it's most visible in the online market. So if you want to use LaTeX on cloud, your first preference must be Overleaf. Then we have Datazar and LaTeX base as well. There are many advantages of using online service and disadvantages as well. Advantages are that you can share with your peers. And if, for example, you want to write down a book with where different chapters are written down by different people, you all can share and everyone can write down their own chapters and it becomes like a single project for you. With the installed version, the advantage is that you have it on your computer and you don't need any internet connection to work with it, and you can find out errors and so on and so forth. Generally, checking errors is much more easier if your system has in-house or onboard LaTeX distribution. Generally, whenever we write down a program, we use an editor. For example, if you want to write down a text, so the editor could be Notepad for Windows, or it could be Microsoft Word for Windows, or it could be Open Office for Linux, or it could be Numbers for Macintosh, and so on and so forth. If you want to write down a MATLAB program, for example, there are MATLAB editors. If you want to write down C program, there are C editors. Although all of these can be replaced with a general purpose editor as well, for example, Vim. But having a specific editor for a specific type of program always helps, because it'll be much more easier for one to find out errors. For LaTeX, there are many free editors available, which you can download from the internet. Which is the best, although it depends on the individual's choice. But if we look at the market, generally freely available TextMaker is one, which is very intuitive and a powerful integrated LaTeX editing environment. If you use TextMaker, so even if you use it on Windows or Macintosh, or if you use it on Linux, everywhere it is going to look the same. And therefore, even if you shift from one type of operating system to other type of operating system, since the editor is same, so your learning curve is not going to go down. This is what typically a screenshot of TextMaker looks, right? In a while, Dr. Bhushan will explain various parts of this and how we can generate documents with the help of TextMaker. But this is what it looks like. Here we have PDF. Here is the program which we have wrote down. And here are some tools which we use while writing down this program. So these tools makes our life easy, right? For example, if you want to write down on Microsoft Word, if suppose you want to bold something, all you have to do is you have to choose the text and press the bold button. Same happens with TextMaker. You can do many things with the help of these tools over here, and corresponding file will be generated. Before we look at the hands-on on these installed operating systems, let us look at a quick example, right? Like any programming language, we have to start the program. In LaTeX, we started by saying document class, and we say article. So this is going to indicate that we are trying to generate an article, and so therefore our document class is article. And then we begin our document. We write down whatever we would like to write down. And once we are over with writing it down, we end our document, right? So this is going to help us in creating something. If we execute this small program, this is what we get, right? So you can see that regular text is regular text, and this is some special format of text. Then we have regular text, and then we have this special type of latex division. So if you look at this program, there are 4 symbols which are other than these text values, right? We have one which is /emph. This is a command which emphasizes a word which is within these circular brackets. So first becomes emphasized, or we also call it as italic, right? Similarly, in front of LaTeX, we have placed a slash. This slash is going to convert this regular text into LaTeX kind of a text, LaTeX kind of a text, right? So you can see that this is the program. By introducing some special commands, we have converted our regular text into very specifically looking text, which depends on us what we are trying to say. Now, Professor Bhushan is going to explain to you the installed versions, and then we'll come back and I am going to explain to you how we can use it, how we can use the online editors for creating LaTeX documents.
Actually, Professor Bhushan is not in the screen.
Okay.
Can you call him?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
This is, I'm just going to show you how we proceed with the latex and how you learn it in depth.
Bhushan sir, just a small announcement.
Yes.
Dear participants, if you have any kind of query, please use Q&A, and we'll closely monitoring your questions and answer, and we'll try to incorporate all these questions at the end of the session. And please don't write any questions if it is pertaining to your query in chat box. It will be difficult to, because a lot of messages are coming into the chat box. So please use Q&A so that we can monitor your answer. So over to Bhushan sir.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing is that when you want to start learning latex, 17 participants raised hand. So
you don't worry about it. You just carry on with your.
carry on.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the first thing that you should do is that you should first download this particular PDF file from the net. And this is called, I'll show you the screen, the not so short introduction to LaTeX 2E. So you must download this. It is free and it will take you through all the steps and all the aspects of LaTeX which are important. Okay, this is the second one. First one, I'm going to minimize this, and now we want to start our making a document. So we open the menu and we write in TextMaker and open TextMaker. Okay, so Professor Vinay Kumar has already shown you earlier how TextMaker looks, and this is what the TextMaker looks like. Now I go to File, and I can start with New, or I can open a recent one. So first I'll show you the new file. So you start with New, and then we open a wizard. Okay, and we start with a quick start. You don't have to waste too much time. And then it will tell you what are the things that you require. The first thing is the document class, which Professor Vinay Kumar had already introduced you, is article. It could be a report, a letter, a book, or Beamer. Beamer means slides. And then we are here, we have the kind of other options. So our option is portrait, okay, which is default. And we can have the landscape, final, I think this you will understand later. So use. Next, the third option that you have is the point, the typeface. 10 point. You can have it 11 point. You can have it as 12. And our generally we write A4 paper, but there are many other options. A5, B5, letter, legal, executive. And our encoding, UTF-8, which is the latest encoding, which is being used all over the world. And it's got, any language can be used, okay? And over here I've written author Sunil Bhushan, and I can write my title as whatever I want. I can write it as article. Okay. And then I say that what are the packages that I want. If I use AMS, American Mathematical Society packages, then all my mathematics work will be done with that. L-Modern, you can choose that. GraphicX is to have graphics in your document. If you want an index in your document, you write in the make index, right? So and this is a font package. So if I say okay, I'll get, I can of course add various other types of this thing. New, okay, that's it. So then I just said okay, and I find that I've already got all these things as my list. The first one is the document class. It says the will be 10 point, the paper will be A4, and the type of document, the style is that of an article. My encoding is UTF-8. I use a package English with Babel in it, use package AMS Math, use package AMS Fonts, and etc. Now let me go over to a file which I have already done earlier. So in this one is my bare thing here. So this is my file which I've already done some work on, and I'll show you the various topics. So first of all, the author is Sunil Bhushan, and title is my LaTeX article, and the date I'm keeping as open, no date. And then my document begins. So the first thing I have to have is what's called make title. It will make the title of the page. Then in that, the next this thing is that basically it will show my title, author, and date. If you want today's date, you just, if you use percentage sign, you comment it out. Okay. So if I'm first going to use today's date, I've commented it out. I've got begin document, make title, section, and then I write section, introduction. Here I can go here and put in various LaTeX commands. Document class, use package, begin document, author, title, make title, table of contents, if I want a table of contents. Sectioning, I can put in a part, I can put in a chapter, I can put in a section, subsection, etc. And then the environment. This basically says begin center means all the lines will be centered after that. Begin flush left, and I have my lines flush left or flush right. Quote, etc. These generally will not be requiring, but you'll be requiring a table sometimes and figure, and so on. These are the various LaTeX environments. Then we have list environment, itemize, enumerate, description, list. So you'll be using mostly itemize, enumerate, and list. Okay. And then we have fonts types, text IT, text SL, text BF, etc. These are various emphasis if I want to do this thing. So for example, I put here anywhere. I choose anywhere, go to LaTeX, and I write here font styles, and then I put text IT. So I've got that in text IT, italics. Okay. Actually, this text that you're reading has been downloaded from the project Gutenberg. Another useful thing that you can use is Lipsum. And you can use one paragraph. Okay. Okay, now the next thing is that which is the way to proceed. So there are various ways in LaTeX to proceed. The first thing that you do is that you can of course do quick build, but you will not understand with that what is being happening. You press LaTeX and then automatically you will compile the code. The output of the LaTeX is DVI, a DVI file. You can view the DVI if you want. Otherwise, go from DVI to PostScript. PostScript is another format. And then you can view PostScript. Sorry. You can view PostScript, or you can go to view PDF. So from PostScript, you must go to PDF. And then you have view PDF. All these things can be done in one shot. It starts with DVI to PostScript, PostScript to view PDF. So let me press tools and I press quick build. There we are. My this thing, let me, now this is very small, so let me here we have it, and I zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So you notice my LaTeX article is at the top. This is my heading. Then it goes to the author, and then it writes the date. And then I go to introduction, etc. When I put in Lipsum, I just get some text. Then I get this thing. So I'm closing this for the moment. Okay. So this is my first section, introduction. I can then put in first subsection. In my first subsection, if I put a dollar symbol and put XT, this is math. This will show some math. I can write XT, or I can even write alpha. Here it will automatically come up here and enter alpha T. In which case, it will show me an alpha, right? Let me go and I can quick build as many times as I want to. I do quick build. Here we have it. And here you can see the alpha T. Let me zoom in. So this is my zoom. I can see alpha T. Use a very, very well. Okay. If I don't want, I can also put equations which are going to be on a different, this is called display equations. And here I've written E is equal to MC squared. I can then write this. When I do this, I will get an equation which is displayed. And in this case, then you have to put in double dollar. E is equal to MC squared, double dollar. Or if you want a numbered equation, so you write begin equation and end equation, which you get straight from here, the LaTeX. Here I'll show you. You are coming to environment, begin center. No, you have to go to math. And here we have dollar display equation, begin equation. So when I press that, I will get begin equation and end equation, and I write my equation in between. Now the math part consists of various types of things. And what I would suggest is that you go through this iShort, which is this PDF. And here we have various, let me go to the, so this is the preface. This shows you where the chapters are. So it tells you chapter 1 tells you about a basic structure. Chapter 2, details of typesetting. Chapter 3 explains how to typeset formulas. And chapter 4 explains indexes, bibliography. And then chapter 5 shows you how to use LaTeX for creating graphics, and so on. It shows you various chapters. And this is quite a complete book, ebook, which contains a lot of stuff. Let me now go back to my document. And here you have how to put in a figure, right? Now, I basically use a figure and I save it as an EPS file. Let me show you an EPS file. So here is my PostScript file. Okay. Sorry. Here, this is my EPS file. I'll just open it, and I can open it with a document viewer. And my file just consists of a rectangle, right? You can have anything as you like, draw it. I use Inkscape to draw my drawings. So you can draw your drawing and save it in a separate folder called this thing. First, remember, always start your LaTeX documents in a separate folder, because you get a lot of these little things, okay? So let me show you how to put in the figure. So first you write begin figure, and then after that you write centering. It will center the figure, and then you have include graphics, and then there's a scale. You can scale it to any value, like up to 1. So in this case, my scale is 0.5, half. And then I have drawing.eps, that is the name of my drawing. Then I have caption, okay? The caption will occur below the figure. You can put this caption above the figure too. I can just copy this and put it above. And that will show this is a figure. And then you write end figure. That's the end of putting in a figure. So I'll show you how the figure looks. Tools, quick build. Okay, this is a figure. So you can see here that my figure is just a rectangle. You could put in anything you like here, whatever you like. But it should be in the EPS format. Okay. And then close this. The next one is putting a table. Now, first step is begin table and end table. Right. So after begin table, then you have to write begin tabular. Okay. That is available here in the LaTeX. Tabular environment, begin tabular, right? And you put begin tabular. Now, this is the first column, this is the second column, and this is the third column. And when we put C, it means whatever text you're typing in should be centered. Okay. So I made 3 columns. And the first thing is I get a horizontal line. H line means horizontal line. I can take this out from here, cut, and paste it below this. Okay. So in the beginning, it will draw a horizontal line. Then it will write XXX. Then it will go to the next column, write YYY. And next column will write ZZ line. Then it will go to horizontal line, another horizontal line. Then it will write AAA, BBB, CCC. Then a horizontal line, then MMM, NNN, and OOO. Then two horizontal lines, okay? And then end tab. And then after that, caption. This is a table, end table, okay? After this, I put end document. So let's see the table. So I go to TUI tools, build. And here you see is my table. I have XXX, YYY. Of course, there are various other things you have to do. For example, the first thing that may be required is that I may want to center it, right? So I write here, centering. Now I will center the table. Oh, so I think there's some problem. No align. Begin.
Sir, I think we have to write down centering just after the begin table.
After the
begin table.
Oh, right. Thank you. After begin table, yes, I have to center this. Okay, let's build it now. Tools, quick build. Here I have centered my table. Remember, there are many, after this is just the bare bones I'm teaching you. But there are many packages which do very fancy work on tables, many packages that do various other things. So my point is that you have a lot to learn, but this will take you a while. But the thing is that this is just an introduction. Now let me introduce one more last thing. You want to write a research paper, right? So now you go, first of all, if your research paper is to be written in doc, then obviously you have to do it in doc, Word. But if the research paper is to be done in LaTeX, you go to the site and you try, like I've downloaded the IEEE transaction package. And the package that you should look at is very important one, is called CTAN. This is the package. This is the site. Okay. It's called the Comprehensive Text Archive Network. It's huge. I go over to CTAN. And then I can ask for anything I like. Here I say IEEE. So I've got my IEEE package, IEEE transaction, package IEEE PES, engineering site, Persian bill. So I go to IEEE, and here I'll find that README. I can read about the documentation. I can see the documentation here also, and then I can download the package itself. So I can download TextLive or the contents of the package in everything, 1.6 megabytes. So I've downloaded the package and I've opened it. And then I see inside various things here. Now, the thing is, look for a text file. So we have the simplest bare advanced text. I open it. open with TextMaker. This is wrong. Open recent. So here we have. This is basically the file as it should be this thing. It's downloaded, and you just go ahead and you quick build it. Just see what happens. Good. And you see here everything, bare advanced demo of IEEE CLS. This is the title. Then there's abstract. Then there's indexing. These are the authors. And then finally you write your introduction, subsection, conclusion, or whatever you like. Then you want to write appendix, acknowledgements. And then here you put your photo. And here you put your biography. So this is basically the way to proceed to publish your article. All you have to do is download the file, the style file, and not the style file, but the file itself. And then instead of that, for example, let's go back here. Here we have use package site. These are all comments. We go down. Here we have it. The authors are these. And then thanks. And then, so wherever you need to see this, you put in your stuff. This is just the bare bones essential. You put this in. This is the begin document and use. Okay, I think I'm done for today. We can't be looking further on. It's almost 12 o'clock. And I think there are time for questions, etc. So
no, I think I'm going to take them through overleaf, sir, for a while, few minutes.
Overleaf. So I should get off then?
If you have anything else to explain.
No, I just wanted to introduce them to LaTeX. And how to write the work, put in sections, put in figures, put in a table, and how to use the what you call the transaction or whatever you are, their skeleton procedure, and enter their stuff.
All right, sir. So I'll take over.
You want me to do anything else? You let me know.
Bhushan sir, there is a very pertinent question raised by one of the participants. How to deal with the algorithms? Suppose if anyone want to insert algorithm, computer program, whatever, I mean some algorithm into the paper. So how to deal with that aspect?
Okay, I'll just answer that question. Yeah. So you go to LaTeX and we go to the environments and okay, there is an environment called verbatim here. And let me put this in. Let me open that file, the first one. Open recent and article, first LaTeX article. I've come here, right? Now let's come to the end of this table. And we come here. And we put in here, go to LaTeX. And then you go to the environment and begin verbatim. End verbatim. So in this begin verbatim, I can write even LaTeX programs. Here we have algorithm. You can type in the various steps of the algorithm, and as it is shown, like you write down LaTeX. Right, and CCC, whatever you want to write. And then over here, I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, and I write Sunil. Okay, and then I write the various steps of my algorithm, and then I do tools, quick build. Here you can see my algorithm latex. Normally latex, if I type, it should show me an error. But because it is in the verbatim environment, it types exactly as you have written. So my latex CCC is shown, and then it's also shown Sunil Bhushan. Now this is in the verbatim environment is written in the typewriter type of this thing. And you can choose your typewriter font. You can choose it as Courier or anything else you like. That is something that you learn as you go.
I think this you have answered this question very beautifully. Okay, over to
Any
Vinay.
other question? Shriram, any other question?
Yes, sir. We'll take it at the end because I thought this is one of the pertinent question. So I ask in between.
This is a way to type in code and show the code.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Vinay, sir.
Yep. All right. So now we move to the online version, right? Generally, there are many, as we discussed earlier, there are many other platforms where you can write down your LaTeX code online, but Overleaf is mostly used and it's very popular. It's a web-based editor and you don't need to install anything at all. Another advantage is that you don't have to update it. Since it is cloud-based, it's automatically updated. And you don't have to keep the versions in mind. So for example, when especially in Linux, for example, you install one version of LaTeX and you write down your programs in LaTeX programs, and then you update it. It does not happen regularly, but once in a while it could happen that your current version is not backward compatible, and therefore the program will not run. So with Overleaf, you don't have to do any version control as well. All you have to do with Overleaf is write your documents and that's it, correct? So you don't have to be worried about the editor or the compiler, etc. Now let us look at the Overleaf and find out how does it works. So we will go to the file, right? Okay. Let me share my another screen. New share. Yeah. So I think now you can, so what I have done is I have come to Overleaf. This is the Overleaf environment. This is the website. So if I click, this is the homepage of Overleaf. If you go to overleaf.com, you will be redirected over here. Now, there are multiple options. So when you start using it, you have to first go to register. I'm already registered. So I go to login, right? Sometimes you don't even have to register. You can directly go to login and use your Google or IEEE or Twitter or Orchid account. I'm going to use my Google account, and with Google account, I will be able to log in into here is my Overleaf project, right? I have saved few things over here, and I'm going to show you a few of them as we go. Generally, people are interested in the curriculum vitae or resume, right? If you are, for example, you would like to go to Europe or you want to apply to some European companies or universities, European Union has a specific type of, a specific template for preparing your resumes, and this is called as Europass. In Overleaf, there are multiple hundreds and thousands of templates are there. I'll show you how to get them. But for example, here, if we go to accounts, account setting, you can change your passwords and so on and so forth. So the point is that if you go to new project, there are blank projects. You can start a new project, example projects. Then we have upload project, which we are going to use in a while. You can also import from GitHub. GitHub is another repository from where you can use many things. Then there are templates: academic journal, book, formal letter, homework assignment, poster, presentation, lab report, resume, thesis, and many, many more. So for example, if we go to this resume, you will see that there are hundreds of types of resumes available. You can choose any one of them. But for this webinar, we are going to use Europass, right? And searching within Overleaf is not that easy. So you can go to Google and write down Europass. So let us, for example, if I go here and I write down over here, Europass, Overleaf, then it will show me Europass Overleaf, right? We click over here, we go over there, open as a template. When you say open as a template, it will take you, or it will import that particular thing into your project, right? So here is mine. I'll open it, Europass project. It's loading. So you can see as it was in the text maker, on the left hand side, we have the code, and on the right hand side, we have Europass. When you import this, all you have to do is, so it will have some examples, you just have to replace the text. So for example, I have wrote down my name, Vinay Kumar, and the address, my number, email address, etc., and all the details. Once I do it, I recompile. After compiling, I'm going to get the resume over here, right? And this resume is in sync with Europass requirements, correct? So if you want to generate, if you are applying to European universities, you can use this. And there are many, many things over here, right? So this is what once you import it into your project, it is going to show you many things. We are only interested in text file, right? So we click on main text and this takes us over here. Then there are multiple images as well. You can use EPS. EPS is considered to be the best. EPS is extended PostScript. And extended PostScript means that irrespective of how much you stretch the picture, it is not going to be pixelated, which happens quite frequently with PNG and JPEG, etc. So you can use EPS or SVG file, and these can be created with the help of Inkscape, as Professor Bhushan said. Other than these, there are some definitions. So we are not interested in these definitions. Something which is called as class file, right? So this is our class file. Class file tells us this is the compiler, which helps our text file to be compiled according to these rules. So in the class file are the rules. These are the rules which are utilized when we go and execute our main text file. So for you, I think nothing else is important. Once we import a particular type of file, we are only interested in main text. And over here, for example, you can write down driving license, maybe pilot license number, and you can choose something else, right? And so on and so forth. And once you recompile it, you will see that over here, this driving license has become pilot license number, and this comes over here. So Overleaf is quite simple in the sense that most of the templates are already available. All we have to do is we have to call that particular template and start using it. So let's go to our home screen from here. And for example, I would like to write down a paper for IEEE, right? So we go to C10, as we just discussed, and we download the zip file. Once you download that zip file, go to new project, upload project, select a zip file. So I have already downloaded it over here. We go to desktop, and then we go to my webinar. Here, webinar, and from webinar, this is the Elsevier journals file, right? ELS article. Okay, so once you do it, select a zip file, it will take you, and then you just import it from your computer. It will be imported over here, right? So it is importing the file from my computer. It'll take few seconds. It will unzip and put everything in place, right? So we have entered into our file and it has automatically opened one of the text files, right? This is Harvard style. Harvard, these are the styles which are used for referencing purpose. So generally you can use one of them depending on in which type of journal you are going to send your article. You can read this. This tells us what to use, right? So if we look at it over here, we see that this is preprint. This means that the article which you are going to prepare is going to be submitted for review. It is preprint edition. Generally nowadays, many people create this preprint edition and they upload it maybe on archive or some other open repositories and then submit it somewhere else. Then we have used 12 points, which is, so we don't have to actually change anything over here. This is in accordance with the rules and regulations of Elsevier's journal. And this is now ELS article, which indicates that it is an article of Elsevier type. And then from here, we have other things as well. So for example, begin highlights, research highlight 1, research highlight 2. We can, for example, title, my first title, then author is address. Now over here we write down abstract, right? I want to write in LaTeX or something like that. Correct. Then we go to graphical abstract. Sometimes in some of the journals this is required, and it completely depends on the authors. If they want to include it, you can include your graphical abstract over here, for example, image or something. Then generally nowadays, most of the journals want the highlights of your article, right? So this is a special section over here where you can itemize them, right? So this is item 1 and this is important 2 and so on and so forth. Then you have to write down keywords. So for example, it depends on the journal to journal. So for example, over here, we use MCS 2008 and so on and so forth. These are available on the website of the journal where from you can get it. And then we end front matter. So this is the front matter, which is going to be utilized to generate the top of your article. Then we come to the main text, right? And here is the line number. We'll see. Section is first section, and then we can label it FS, right? And the advantage of using it is, for example, if I write down some text and then I would like to refer to my section, so I can write down FS and so on and so forth, right? Once we are over with all this, we have to include a bibliography. Begin bibliography 00, and then we enter biblio items over here. These biblical items can be produced with the help of a software which is called as JabRef. I will show you in a while. Once we enter all this, we are going to recompile everything, and this recompilation is going to give us the result. So there is no graphical abstract over here. This is the title. This is the name of the author. You can see the name of the author, and address comes at the end. These are the highlights of my article, item 1 and important 2. And then comes the real article, right? Here is the abstract. This is the keyword which I have utilized. And this is my first section. And you can see over here in this, my first section, when I say WS, etc., refer FS, right? So this refer FS has converted into number 1. This is going to indicate that this is our first section. So let us look at it. If I say section 2, and I don't use any this thing at all, and then I recompile it, you will see very soon, once it is recompiled, a new file is generated, that in section 2, this, since we have wrote down, we have used a label. Therefore, this REFS is going to refer to this particular section. right? So the referencing, cross-referencing is extremely easy if we use LaTeX, correct? It is irrespective of whether you are going to use Overleaf or you are going to use the installed version. So this is how we can create various files over here. Now, let's go to the home screen. If, for example, you would like to write down your articles in a language which is not English, if you want to write down your article in, say, Hindi or Arabic or Sanskrit or something else, this is a template which I have in the same way I have included or imported into my Overleaf account. So you can see that whatever we have wrote down in whatever language, it is coming as it is. Here is Arabic, this is Hindi, here we have Sanskrit, then we have CJK, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Greek, Thai, and so on and so forth. This is extremely useful if, for example, you would like to write down articles or if you would like to insert some other languages into your original article, right? For including references, we use something which is called as JebRef, right? I'm going to show you what JebRef is so that, let it start 1 second. So here is my JebRef. So ignore this update as of now.
Sir, we cannot see your screen.
Yeah, just a second. Can you see now?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so this is a software which is called as JebRef. It's free and it is used to create bibliography. All we have to do is we have to go to Google and so I have to, share another screen, just a minute. Safari, share. So we go to Google over here. Europass we have already seen, scholar.google.com. This is a website where we can search for many articles. There are other websites as well, Web of Science, Scopus, etc., etc. So for example, I would like to find out image articles on image fusion, correct? These are the articles. Now, suppose I would like to refer to this article, right? I go to these quotation marks over here, click on this. It is going to show us various types of citations: MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, Vancouver, and so on and so forth. At the same time, at the bottom, there are 4 other options. You can call these citations directly into BibTeX format in EndNote, RefMan, or RefWorks. JebRef uses BibTeX format, which is the general common format. So, once we click on BibTeX, it is going to show us something like this. All we have to do is we have to, copy it somewhere and save it. And once we save it in a text file, then we go back to JebRef. Let me just quickly save it somewhere. Text edit. So, for example, I have saved it. You can, you paste it on a notepad, and once you save it with some name, for example, in this case, I have saved this particular file with the name untitled, right? Once I do it, I go over here, file, import into new library, page where I have stored it, and then I am going to import it, right? Once I import that, file, library. Then I go to the folder where it is stored, and here it comes. I think it's taking a while. Just a second. So anyway, by the time it comes, I'll show you that, you can actually directly search on the web with the help of, for example, you choose Google Scholar over here, and then you write down the article's name and fetch it. Once you fetch it, this is going to take you, the search is going to go to Google Scholar, and all the articles will be listed over here. Once we have all the articles over here, then we can choose and find out what to utilize. So we'll come back to this JabRef in few seconds, because I don't know, it is not able to.
So in the meantime, you can answer a question.
Yes.
Vinay,
Yes, sir.
Vinay, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
I think you have to go to BibTeX.
Yes, sir. I will. Yeah.
In JabRef, I think you have to go to BibTeX first.
No, we can directly include from TXT file also, sir.
No. Open BibTeX and then add.
Yeah. Yes, we can do that too. So I'll come back to that because my JabRef stopped working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll come back to that. So the point is that, once we have all this, this was for multi-languages, this was for creating your resume, this is for ELS article. You can also rename them if you want to. This is how we can use the overleaf, right? So let me just quickly start JabRef. Using JabRef is easy. It depends. There are multiple things which you can utilize, but I like JabRef quite a lot. It's very intuitive and simple to use. You can use many search engines directly, and it helps in understanding the whole process. So JabRef is back. So for example, if I write down over here, image fusion, and fetch the articles. New library. And then I fetch. So you can see, yep.
By the time it loads, I'll just ask one of the questions.
Yes, so here it is. Yeah, it's over more or less. So, which you just choose whichever articles you would like to choose. And then we say, okay, correct? And these all are going to be included over here. And then we can create a BibTeX file, for example, export to BibTeX file, etc., etc. And those BibTeX files can easily be included into our overleaf or the installed versions. So I think that is it. Thank you very much. We are going to look at, we are going to answer to a few questions. Questions, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Vinay. And Dr. Dipto, so can we take questions from there?
Sure, sir. So I'll go with the first question, sir. Using LaTeX, can we check grammar and punctuation in text?
Yes. Not punctuation, but you can check the spellings.
Check the spellings, right, sir?
Right.
Sir, is there any sort of an online automatic software that can convert Word or PDF document to LaTeX?
No, there is none which can do the correct job. There may be some which converts the doc to LaTeX, but generally the output is not very good.
Right.
The ones which I have used, I haven't found any which is quite useful in doing so.
Sir, if we want to use this particular software, so it means that we need to install two different things, that is MikTeX and TextMaker.
Right.
Right.
We have to install the compiler, which is MikTeX or MacTeX, or for Linux, it is uh, TextLive. And editor, you can choose TextMaker or any other editor as well. So there are many, for example, Kyle is one, TextMaker is one. There are many, so you can choose any of them.
Right, sir. Sir, can you briefly describe the function of Lipsum? I think, yeah.
Well, Lipsum is a library which is used to generate, the text, which is so you must have people must have seen the text, which is called as uh, I forgot its name. Sir, do you remember the name of that Lipsum?
Yeah, can I just interrupt for a minute?
Yeah.
Lipsum is basically a package which just introduces some Latin text.
Yeah.
It's just a filler. You want to see how that paragraph looks like or how two paragraphs look like. So instead of Lipsum 1, you can write Lipsum 2.
So
And
it's
you
a
will see
dummy
the
text. Dummy text.
Latin text.
Yeah.
So it's just text. It just shows, that means if you don't want to type in any text, just put in Lipsum. It will show you how it will look, how the article will look, or how the book will look, or whatever it will look, how that sectioning will be done. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir, definitely. So I'll go to the next one. Is it compulsory to save figure and EPS format?
No, it is not compulsory. You can save it in JPEG, PNG, etc. But if, for example, you are saving it in PNG or JPEG, then you have to include another package. So, for example, in this case, we have included the EPS package when we utilize it. If somebody wants to use PNG or JPEG from that book which Professor Bhushan shared, that has the packages which one is supposed to utilize whenever you are importing pictures which are not in EPS format.
Right, sir. So there are lots of questions regarding
So, for example,
why should I use LaTeX over MS Word? I mean, most of the features are already available in MS Words. So why would LaTeX have a benefit over MS Word?
Can I
so for
answer
example,
that question?
yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, the thing is, in MS Word, there is no particular styling the way LaTeX does it. The LaTeX, the whole document has a particular style and it looks very professional. MS Word, by comparison, is shoddy. Sorry to say this, MS Word is not at all professional looking. Okay.
Right, sir. So sometimes journal package do not work in LaTeX Studio. Is there any particular reason to that?
Can you repeat, please? Sorry.
Sometimes journal packages do not work in LaTeX Studio. So is there any particular reason to that?
I don't think, I think they always work. There is a possibility of version control. So for example, you have downloaded a package which corresponds to either previous or latest version of your editor or the compiler. Then there are sometimes some possibilities. So you have to look at the type of, compiler which is going to be utilized for your package. If everything is in sync, then it is never going to happen that it is not compilable.
Right, sir. Sir, can we add video in a LaTeX file?
For presentations,
Yes.
yes, but it's not straightforward as PPTs. So you have to include a package, and then only then that package can take care of including videos, etc.
Right, sir. So there was something about MSC that you wrote. What is that about?
MS.
C.
Well, these keywords. So every journal has a special type of keywording. This is a keyword which can be found out. For example, if you are submitting your paper in Elsevier, then there are some keywords which are defined by Elsevier. So whenever you include, for example, MSc, it can indicate to them that this particular paper is in image processing field, right? So it is just a field indicator. It's nothing, I mean, it's not a code or nothing. It is journal dependent. which is going to be helpful for the journal to find out correct reviewers, etc. possibly.
Right, sir. Sir, does slash ref create a link to that or just provides the referred label?
It links and therefore it provides the referred label. So
Right.
even if you change, so for example, if you introduce sections prior to section 1 and now section 1 becomes section 2, then REF will show you section 2 in place of section 1.
Right, sir. Sir, can we draw, how can we include flowcharts in LaTeX documents?
Well, you know, there are flowchart creating softwares. There is a software which can create a flowchart directly in LaTeX code. At the same time, for example, you can create flowcharts with the help of, say, Google Creator, or there are specific softwares which are useful for creating flowcharts, which can be directly included into your LaTeX file. So generally, you know, drawing flowcharts with the help of Paint is not a good idea. We can always use, for example, graph.io. It has a special package with which where we can create flowcharts, and they can be exported as EPS file, PS file, include them as a regular graphic file into your LaTeX code.
Right, sir. Sir, can you give an example of how we write a long equation? Just a small example, if that's possible.
Equation.
Yeah.
All right. So, you know, it depends how long the equation is, right? So, sir, Professor Bhushan?
I'll just answer that question.
Yeah.
The thing is that equations can be very long in LaTeX. And maybe we'll have another session or another webinar on how to write equations in LaTeX. The point is that you would have to take some time to write the equation. I mean, the equation can be included, and it depends how long your equation is.
Right.
Yes.
Am I making sense here or no?
Definitely.
Just give me 5 minutes. I'll show you how an equation is included. Okay, give me 5 minutes.
So the, you know, equation in itself is a big challenge, even in any software. So, for example, if your equation is really wrong, there are multiple methods which Professor Bhushan is going to show us in a while. Yeah. So you can see over here, I think you can see my screen. Yeah. Is it visible? So you see that before this FS, I have created a section, and now this FS is referenced over here. So you can see that now this becomes 2. Yeah, right. It was initially 1. So when we include a section, it automatically links this over here, and irrespective of whatever we do, it will automatically change. So that is the advantage of using labels.
Right, sir. Sir, is there any plagiarism check while using LaTeX?
Mechanism for what?
Plagiarism check. Can we do a plagiarism check using LaTeX?
No. I think we create the document and then we have to use the
Right.
plagiarism checker software, for example, Turnitin or Kubuntu. That's
Urkund.
Orkund. Yes, Orkund. Yeah.
Yeah. So does Grammarly work in it?
No, it has its own spell checker.
Okay. Sir, how do we deal with graphs in research article? Also, can we make the APA style tables which are without internal horizontal lines?
Yes, we can. So the table formation is, you know, you just create a section and you have to include package over here. So whatever you want to do, one can do that. All we have to do is we have to include the corresponding use package. If we would like to include APA style tables, then we can do it by including or calling the package which is utilized for APA style tabling. And I think a lot of help is available online. So for example, if you would like to create a specific type of table, you just call that package into TextMaker, and then from TextMaker you start creating that table, and the table will automatically, based on the type of class which you have used, to create that text file will automatically convert your table into that particular format.
Right. Sir.
So if, for example, your answer is not coming as you wanted, or there are some errors, we must first check these use packages. Use package is the one which calls the packages, and they are the rules. So if your output file, PDF file, is not following some rules, there is very high possibility that you have not called the rule file, which is use package.
Right, sir.
Okay, I have a equation here.
Right, sir.
So if I
I'll
share
stop.
my screen, you can see it. Okay. Can you see my screen?
No, sir.
Not yet.
Okay, just hold on. Just hold on.
No, sir, first you stop your then you.
I stopped.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now you can see here I've written on equation, begin equation, end equation. This is quite a long equation. And here we can see that A cos cosine of omega subscript C T left arrow A pi. So I'll just make this equation. So I go to tools and quick build. And here we have the equation. See? So this is A cos omega Ct has got the Fourier transform A pi delta omega minus omega C plus delta omega plus omega C. So the point is that the equation is a challenge. You have to write it all down. But there are some simple ways of doing it. That is not that's not part of this seminar. That probably will be later in another seminar. But you can see now I have written this equation, and you can get this equation by other means also. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Definitely it does.
And I think there are some image break rules as well. So if your image is your equation is really long, then you have to use those specific packages which are going to break your equations into multiple lines and then give a single number. So writing equations it comes out very beautifully, but it takes some amount of work as well.
Right.
Okay, well, sir, I think we have covered almost everything, and these are the. I am sure that this has been found good, useful to most of the participants, because we are seeing a lot of comments coming about the presentation and about the. There was one more specific question about how to make PPTs of these things. So I think that is the last question we are taking.
Right.
So can you explain how to make PPT using LaTeX?
Irrespective of what you create in LaTeX, it is all about using the packages. So if you use package Beamer, then that will automatically convert your text file into a presentation. But obviously you have to look at the text, etc., which can fit into your slides. So, sir, do you have any Beamer file with you?
To me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, unfortunately, my this thing, I'm not able to. Just hold on. Let me open this. Yeah, I have some slides. You want to? Should I show them to you?
Yeah, only slides are enough. So if you use package Beamer, then with the help of those packages, you can create slides which Professor Bhushan is going to show us.
Okay, okay.
I think I also have some of them.
Okay. Just wait for this too.
So I have got mine.
Okay, you can show yours, or I'm just about to open mine.
All right.
Here we have it. Here we have the slide. So this is analog communication lecture set 1, Sunil Bhushan. And here we have the introductory history, introduction to analog communication, typical in the second slide. Then we have the third slide, and it will show it by this thing. And then we have marks distribution. This is a slide that I made for my class. And then we had the textbooks. And then we can put in whatever you want. And here we have put in some equation. And here we put in a diagram. Here we can put in equations and diagram material. Just like you do a normal document.
Yeah, it's just like
except that it is in a special package, Beamer. Here are the diagram that I put in. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir, definitely.
I think it has sufficient. I think people have asked about how to convert into CV. I think that has been already answered by Dr. Vinay. Download aspect has been already, I think, demonstrated. Equation is already given. So I'm sure that every query has been put into, and we are also copying these query. If we try to provide as possible as if we can give you the correct answers of your query through chat box, through emails, and we have already data with us, and we'll try to find out the proper solution of your query, and we'll send it to you. So, sir, please.
I think I see few queries about bibliography and equations. So including bibliography is using another software which is called as, for example, EndNotes you can use, or you can use JabRef. So you know, using JabRef, etc. is quite intuitive and simple. If you download it and you try to use it, it will be extremely easy as compared to LaTeX. All you have to do is you have to just add articles, import them, and that is your whole bibliography is ready.
And one more question is, how to import project in LaTeX Maker or in TextMaker?
Right. So in TextMaker, I think, sir, your screen is shared. So if you can show that, you just have to go new project, and that's it.
Import the file.
Yeah. Import project, new project.
Okay. In this thing, for example, I want to have a project. My project is webinar, right? So I open that the folder, and it opens. Open. Here we have. Now you write your text, the text file, this one. Okay. Here you can write it in TextMaker itself, and then you save it here, right? Or you can have a blank file and save it here, and then bring it in TextMaker, and then add your text code, right? Then everything else will come here. Your drawings you should keep in a separate this thing folder called images. Create folder, and my computer is a little slow today, and we write images. And then after I have my whatever you can call it, images, and I move it here, and I can then put my drawing in it. That's it. Right. This is my SVG. I like making my drawings in SVG. Scalar vector graphics. The difference between a bitmap image and a vector image is that the vector image can be made as large as possible, and it will not lose, you will not get dots in it. While bitmap, when you make it large, you will lose resolution. You will have problem with the resolution. So my suggestion is always use either SVG or EPS, and you will not lose resolution.
Right, sir.
Anything else? Any other
So
question?
one more interesting question is how much time it will take to master the latex?
Well, it depends on how much time you give. So, for example, you can learn it in maybe 2 days.
Mm.
Because it's very simple. All one has to do is install LaTeX and TextMaker, and then just try around, and very soon you will see that you are a master of LaTeX. So it does not take much time. It's free, and there is a lot of help available on the web, on the internet.
Right, sir. So I think that's almost the time we have for today's.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank all the panelists, Dr. Vinay Kumar, Dr. Sriram, and Dr. Sunil Bush. I would also like to thank all the attendees. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We'll be definitely sharing this session with you guys over the, I think we have a Thapa Library channel. That's right, sir? Sriram,
Yes,
sir?
sir. Yes.
Yeah, so we'll be sharing that online with you guys. And definitely, I know there are lots of queries, but this is all the time we have. And we'll be able to answer all the queries back to you through question and answers, through email. And thank you once again. Thank you once again, panelists, and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.